The U.S. military launched another airstrike in Yemen on a Houthi-controlled site believed to be used by the rebel group to attack commercial ships in the Red Sea. The Houthis have been targeting international shipping routes to show their support for Hamas in their fight against Israel. The Houthis are vowing retaliation for these strikes, prompting the U.S. Navy to warn American ships to stay out of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden for the next 72 hours. Christina Ruffini is at the White House this morning with more on this developing story. Christina, good morning.
Good morning. Well, from the start of this conflict in October, U.S. officials and the international community have feared it spreading into a larger regional war. And we've already seen an increase in cross-border conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now, Yemeni Houthis, who are backed by Iran, are vowing to retaliate, making the Red Sea a potential third hotspot.
In Yemen's capital Friday, action sparked a reaction. Large protests following the U.S. and UK-led strikes on more than 30 Houthi rebel targets. Retaliation for the Iranian-backed group's targeting of shipping vessels in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden.
We've put together a group of nations that are going to say that if they continue to act and behave as they do, we'll respond.
Standing in front of a fire truck in Allentown, Pennsylvania, President Biden said he's worried continued attacks on shipping routes could drive up the price of oil.
I'm very concerned. That's why we got to stop it.
According to the Pentagon, more than 150 precision-guided munitions struck at least 60 targets, including command centers, missile and drone launch sites, and air defense systems.
I think it's important to remember how we got here. 27 attacks against international commercial shipping and mariners since November 19th, multiple warnings to stop, and we said very loud and clear there would be consequences, and last night there were.
The Houthis, a minority Shia Muslim group, are backed by Iran and have been battling for control of Yemen since 2014. The bloody civil war has displaced about 4.5 million people, and more than two-thirds of Yemen's population is in dire need of humanitarian assistance, according to the UN.
We are just extremely worried about the risks and the greater risks of escalation.
Yesterday, President Biden dismissed the idea that targeting Houthi groups could antagonize Iran.
Iran does not want a war with us.
The strikes received bipartisan, though not universal, support,
So I think it was an appropriate action.
with some progressive Democrats saying Congress should have to pre-approve any such action.
It's time to put together an international coalition. There should have been time to come to us and ask for permission.
And some Republicans saying it didn't go far enough.
Won't change the equation. The Iranians could care less how many Houthis die, how many people from Hamas die. You'll never get Iran through their proxies to back off until you hit Iran.
Now, all of this was done while the Secretary of Defense is still in the hospital. If you remember, the Pentagon failed to notify the White House that Secretary Austin, who had a procedure for prostate cancer, had developed a serious complication and was in intensive care. The DoD says he monitored the strikes and gave the go-ahead from his hospital room at Walter Reed. The president yesterday said the lack of disclosure about his condition was a lapse in judgment, but that he still has confidence in his Secretary of Defense.
All right, Christina Ruffini, thank you.